And look at Randy Orton slithering.
Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out!
KO! Here's the cover.
Hey, good morning everyone, and today we're back for the video. It's supposed to be on something else, but today we're actually going to look at the SU-130. Granted, I'm using the skin version that was released several months ago, but it's exactly the same as the one that was released as Valor, except for the minor fact that you're going to have to put camo on the unskinned version. So that's the only difference between these two, but for all intents and purposes they're the same tank. So let's jump in a little bit. I meant for today to actually be a video on the Tier 9 German medium that was released with the op this week, the 50T. But for some reason the other game I was going to use with it, I was going to do two games. The other game didn't record, or I don't know, I didn't click record or something along those lines. Don't know. But that should be the next video, hopefully. And then after that will be the T95 V6. Is this the plan? Is this T25 decides to, rear end me a little bit. But what's this tank like? So the best comparison of this tank, if you already own the Scorpion G, it's similar to that, but with a little more Russian aspects to it. You can see it's more low profile right off the bat, which is a big plus for me. The Scorpion G always feels kind of, I don't know, not that sneaky. Versus this thing's camo rating is pretty damn good. You can even see on my wonderful compass mini map that the concealment area when I'm completely still with the camo net is smaller than the area covered by the compass map. So very tiny. As this LTTB pokes in, we don't quite react quick enough there. Let's get into stats a little bit of this thing. So yeah, alpha on it is 520 compared to 490 on the Scorpion G, which I quite like. At 500, extra 30 alpha, you tend to find yourself rolling for like that 545, 600. You get very meaty rolls in this tank at tier 8, which I quite like. Granted, you do offset a slower rate of fire with that, which is about every 11, 13 seconds, something like that. It's 4.32 rounds a minute base, which is obviously slower than the Scorpion G. However, you're also hitting harder. And most of the time, I don't find that difference DPM really matters too much, and I quite like the alpha on this significantly more. Especially if you can load the HE rounds and shoot a thinly armored tank, it's very nice. So it's good at that kind of aspect there. Now we're going very aggressive here in the LTTB, pushing in, and he's going to miss a few on us, luckily. Otherwise, this could have been kind of bad. Could have lost significant hit points if he missed his second shot. Somebody tracks him, and he's going to take one, which is fine. But again, 2 over 500 damage rolls, and we're already over 1,000 damage in this thing. This is very good matchmaking for us on Helebron. We're on the side of time as great for TDs, I would think, but now that we are able to kind of push up the middle, as we bounce off, to the side of Trinity, but space armor on everything is the trend of mercenaries, but that's no longer hopefully a thing, at least I'm hoping. With the new Valor title change, fingers crossed there, guys, but we'll see. Is this thing as fast as Scorpion G? Debatably not. It's still quick, but I don't think it's as fast as Scorpion G. But that's okay, it's still very quick and can get around very, very fast. Which is nice, if I like TDs, I like them to be quick. I'm not a huge fan of the slow lumbering sort for the most part. Not surprising considering the light tank. Obviously you have no armor in this thing, so artillery is going to be a big issue. As you can see, they already took a punt at me about 30 seconds ago. Luckily it did not hit us, but if you do get hit by arty in this thing, it's probably going to pen. So you kind of want to avoid that at all costs at this point. Yeah, top speed is still 65 kph. You're not really going to reach that on flat ground too much. Going down hills you definitely will, but on just flat, even ground or uphills, you're definitely not going to. But So now we're kind of in the perfect position for this tank. Is set up in Overwatch. As they push into our base with our camo net and binos equipped. Equipment's a little based off of what you want in this tank. I run obviously camo net, binos, and I believe gun rammer. Gun rammer is going to be pretty universal for the loadout. You could maybe run optics as well if you have it maxed out. I probably could just run optics on this to be fair. But I'm already running camo net, so I'm going to equip that anyways. Can't equip vents because obviously it's an open top vehicle, so you can't really do that. But you see with the camo net, we were not getting spotted there. We're double bushing and put the camo net up again, but somebody has a line of sight on us, so we do get lit up here, and we're going to take some damage just because we're in an exposed kind of position. But that's okay. Honestly, I thought my team was going to cap out at this point. As you see, we've got 3-3 on the cap circle and 30 seconds left. So honestly, I was just trying to get as much damage out of this game as possible because I thought, hey, it's probably going to be over soon. They're just going to cap out. It's not actually going to happen, surprisingly enough. But you can see this tank, even, yeah, it's just brutal against these tier 8 matches like this. Because most tanks, you either take half their health or a third of their health in one shot. As you see, we've got already 2 shots in that T-34, and he's down to a 1 shot for us. So it's really nice. I'm not sure why I like this totally more than the Scorpion G. It's all kind of dependent. Like we take out the T-34 with our 3rd shot and finish him. I think it's just because one, I have a better crew to an extent. I still can put like a 17 per crew in the Scorpion G, but I can obviously put my wonderful LTTB crew into this thing. As we rack up already 5,600 damage so far. But I think it's just the combination of this thing being so low profile, the alpha, and just overall, it's just, it fits me better to an extent. It's here, we don't want to shoot him because the atomic is looking this way. And he blind fires me again, and he's not going to spot us at that range. But that one sails finally. We finally get a little bit of a misfire. That is kind of a negative of this tank compared to the Scorpion G. I think the Scorpion G's accuracy is like 0.32, 0.33, something around that area. Versus this tank's accuracy is 0.37, I believe, off the top of my head. So it's a little derpier with the accuracy, but I honestly have not had too much of an issue with the accuracy on this tank, to be for myself. Not really a big issue. It does have penetrations also on paper seems a little lacking at 243 of the AP, but that's never really been an issue. Then the heat gets I think it's like 300 something. Great planning by myself, I must say. Yeah, 320 millimeters of pen on the heat rounds, which is very nice, as the atomic is so gracious enough to gift us our 3rd kill while he's sitting in the same spot. And you see we pull off 6,200 damage. And honestly, I've had several games like this where it's just like, for a back-loaded term, turkey shoot in terms of targets. And when you can get that kind of situation with this thing and just keep pulling the trigger and getting damage off, it racks up very, very quickly. Because every 2 shots is 1,000 damage. I mean, it's just, it racks up very, very quick. It's you're penning 14 shots, a couple like low health shots. So really like 12 penning shots there, and you're just really able to rack up damage very, very, very quickly in this thing. At least from my experience. So if you're at all wondering about for the Valor, I don't have any opinion on the tier 6, but SU-130 is really, really a good tank. If you like the Scorpion G, you're probably going to like this thing. Don't know if you're going to like it more than me, as I like this thing more than the Scorpion G, but it's still very, very, very good. So, second game, we're on the old classic Westfield. We're on South Spawn, but this game we're going to have a little bit of a treat because we're in the TD and we're going to get some support, some scouting support from one of you guys. So thanks for that, my dude. But you'll see he is in the Vanguard and will be doing a very good job of loading up targets for us. This is going to be a tier 10 game as well. So you can see what this thing does against +2 opponents. And another good thing about the alpha on this is the 520 is even when you get maps that aren't friendly to tanks like this, such as like maybe Ensk or something along those lines, the 520 Alpha lets you still slap people very well. It's not like the armored TD where you only have maybe like, I don't know, 400 Alpha, and people aren't as afraid to take a hit from you. 520 Alpha, people are going to back off and not want to shoot you, and it also makes those opportunity shots where you can just poke out and slap somebody coming around a corner real quick while they're not looking much more likely. As you see there, he goes in the Vanguard. Hopefully it'll light up our targets for us, which is going to be awesome, and hopefully we can give him some support, which hopefully, spoiler, we are. At least going to give our best shot. As you see, their Batchat 12T is doing kind of a complete misplay here of going, as that shot just, we didn't aim it quite out enough ahead. This is probably the best spot for us, as long as that Batchat 12T doesn't get any more frisky in terms of his positioning. But this gives us shots over towards the ridge, near the bridge. As we line up this one and that one connects, only a 498 damage roll. That's a low roll in this tank. So that's what you have to look forward to. It's very nice. And again, highly recommend playing this thing when you get it through the Valor route. It's a very good tank. Yeah, and I honestly, I will be frank when something is not good. So, not trying to oversell this thing too much, but I've been enjoying it. The Russian Scorpion G is very much a must-play for me. So, if you line up a shot on the Scorpion on the Batchat 12T, and that feels good, take him out of the game. Nice shot there on that thing. And now we can move up a little bit more. We gotta watch their medium tank over to their left. I don't want to get lit up in this thing. Kind of snapshot it there. It is something you don't want to do in this tank, is snapshot too much, because again, 0.37 accuracy, not that good. But now we're lining up shots on their, there we go, that one connects even though he went blind, and now we're already up to 2,000 damage at this point. And this game has just started, but now we get spotted by their Vengeance, and again, we have no armor, so literally everything's going to direct their fire at us because we're an easy pen. That is the issue with these paper PDs. Everybody knows where to shoot them, and yeah, which is literally anywhere. So as soon as you get spotted, you want to get the hell out of Dodge, basically. So we get undetected, and now we're going to move back up. The Vengeance is dead, which is good, and hopefully get back up to supporting him. And he's lighting up these guys that are all pretty much clustered around the same sniper area. This should be a very, I wish I was in the Vanguard this match, but I'm all happy to get the supporting fire as well. Especially when their tanks are being so gracious to just sit out in the open like this. 183. Again, 577. This is juicy out of the tier 8 TD. It's not ISU levels, but again, you also have a turret. As that one misses, snapshot it a little bit, but I felt it was, okay to snap that one. And that is the thing. This is probably the highest alpha TD with a turret at tier 8, I believe, which is very nice. There's others with higher, but they are all turretless. So you have like the ISU, the Chinese tier 8 Wheezy, which is an awful tank, but it does have like 560 alpha or something along those lines. But just that flexibility of having the turret makes this tank so deadly. You don't have to worry about getting flanked nearly as much. Granted, it doesn't rotate fully, so if you do find yourself fighting this thing, getting behind it is a good way to deal with it. However, it does have fairly decent rotation speed, so kind of keep that in mind. However, it is something to keep track of as we take out the Centennial through pretty difficult shooting. Pretty hard to judge shots like that through all that debris, but those two shots were very nice. They actually both hit. And now I'm being a little frisky here in terms of my positioning, but I think it's okay because they're not really pushed up the left side, and I'm going to let the camera net deploy, and they're never going to spot us at this spot, more than likely, as long as we stay still with the camera net and my LTDB crew. It's very unlikely they're going to pen, as the RD just craps on these guys, makes them an easy target for me to hit. and the 4005 is taken out. Now they're directing our attention to the other British tank over here, the 215B, trying to feather a shot into his turret. He is facing that straight ahead, trying to just feather it in there as our pal in the Vanguard goes in. Very risky, but you know, you're learning from me a little bit. But that shot, again, .37 actually does rear its head occasionally, so you'll get some shots like that that just unfortunately don't connect. I'm being greedy for damage right now. I could kill the Death Star. In a game that was closer, I probably would kill the Death Star. As we take our first shot of the game, and that is actually the UDES. I kind of forgot about him, to be fair, and I think I'm actually going to need another shot from him later on. I completely forgot about the UDES being over there, and that's where I would love to have that last name positioning. I just completely was absent-minded about him. Even though I shot him earlier, I just totally forgot that, hey, there's actually a tier 10 Swedish medium over there. Maybe you should watch out. But yeah. And you see we're already up to 5,200 damage so far in this freaking thing. In a tier 10 game. And there's still a good amount of hit points left. But we have to be careful because we are +2 in this situation. But however, we spot the Chinese TD pushing down below, and then we put one into his rear and fuel tanks and get a little bit of extra burn damage there, even though we kind of low rolled when we did shoot him. So will we get the reload? Yes, and we will finish him off for the last 28 damage there. And here's where I'm going to get a little bit aggressive, and I'm probably going to get slapped right now. I believe, yeah, there we are, by the UDES. Again, I forgot about him, just absent-minded, and kind of focusing on, hey, I can get some more damage on the 100. Oh well. And right now, we're sitting just shy of that 6k damage mark as we get our eyes on the UDES once again. And we're just going to wait until our TD hopefully pushes up and spots him. We're going to go into this bush, see if we can't spot him ourselves maybe as well, maybe before the binos. Pushing a little far forward. If we did shoot here, we'd probably get spotted maybe. As we spot the UDES and line up the shot and finish him off and get our revenge for his couple touch damage on us. Taking us up to 6,300 damage in a tier 10 game. Not many tier 8 TDs that I would usually do this in. Not really much of a TD player. I get a little too aggressive, but this thing works pretty good for us. I say I'm not a TD player, I can still make them work. But I do misplay them in them quite a bit because I just get too aggressive and impatient. As you may even seen that in the first game, I pushed up pretty quickly on the Heilbronn game. I got very bored, and yeah, so something to see there. But we pick up 6,300 damage in a tier 10 game, and then we see him with 2,500 damage of his own, as well as just shy of 6k assisted, which is very nice. Very good game, +2 on that map. You know, Westfield is the scouting paradise, so GG to you again, dude. And yeah, have another game with a sub coming up eventually. I have a ton of good games for you guys. Just a plethora of them, honestly, at this point. So hopefully I can start cranking them out. Yeah, SU-130, definitely a great tank. Definitely something to look forward to, and definitely you guys will enjoy it, trust me, when you get it. So again, hopefully 50T video is coming out soon. I will get it out there. Until next time, see ya, and stay safe.